Good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Goes around to Gumake. Drive baseline.
Shot rejected. Why is he back before? In pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it.
Kind of swatted at Caitlin. Do intend to hit her in the eye and feel like I'm just at the point where you accept it and don't retaliate. Like, just let them hit you. Be what it is. Don't let it get inside your head and know it's coming. I think at this point, I know I'm going to take a couple hard shots a game. It is what it is.
Although fans and experts alike eagerly anticipated Caitlin Clark's arrival in the WNBA as the brightest star in college basketball now shines a new light on the women's professional league, it appears that the league's veterans missed the memo and greeted Clark with a mix of tough defense, dismissive quotes, and outright taunting. While this type of treatment is common for rookies entering the big leagues with Clark, everything has been enacted at an unprecedented level, leading to an extreme amount of trash talk. Her rivals are quickly realizing that poking the bear might not be the best course of action. More and more, those who disrespect her end up on the wrong side of a revenge game. Each deep three-pointer Clark drains over a rival who previously insulted her sends a clear message to any future challengers that she is not one to mess with. This is a clear sign of a superstar in the making, especially considering how quickly Clark has adjusted to a new basketball style and a much tougher level of competition. Almost everyone agrees that she has the talent to succeed at the highest level, but her toughness and ability to handle physical play were early concerns voiced by both the media and her opponents. Early in her rookie season, Clark became a prime target for WNBA players seeking attention, and the treatment continued even as her performance improved and she began posting historic numbers. To her credit, Clark never appeared rattled, always stayed composed when talking about opponents, and started standing her ground when older, more experienced players tried to bully her. The list of Caitlin Clark's haters includes players of all kinds, ranging from fellow rookies to aging stars. Apparently, many WNBA players believe they are better than Clark, but fail to back up their trash talk and cheap shots when it truly matters. A pattern is emerging. Trash talking someone as gifted and competitive as Caitlin Clark usually backfires. Let's look at a few examples where that's exactly what happened. The diminutive point guard, who is only 5'6", wanted to show the rookie that there are no easy points in the pros. That's something any competitor might try, but Dana Evans of the Chicago Sky took it too far. Known for her fierce attitude and relentless hustle, Evans crossed the line from aggressive defense to street fight. In one play, as Clark drove to the hoop, she got sandwiched by defenders when Evans locked arms with her and slammed her straight into another player, Kennedy Carter. More on her shortly. The foul looked more like a wrestling move and could have caused serious injury. Heated words followed, though the microphones missed most of it. What could have rattled a less confident player only pushed Clark to elevate her game. In the minutes that followed, Clark responded the only way she knows how, with buckets. Swish, then another swish. She showed she wasn't scared to take contact if it meant proving her worth. She didn't retaliate physically. She took over the game and reminded everyone why she's one of the most dangerous players with the ball in her hands. The Sky tried to shake her, but they only hurt themselves as the Fever came out on top despite the rough tactics and poor fouls. Even though many in the WNBA accused Clark of being soft or unprepared for the league's physicality, they are often the first to complain when she gives it back. That double standard was clear in her run-in with Kahleah Copper, now playing for the Phoenix Mercury. Clark fouled Copper on a drive, nothing dirty, just a normal stop-the-play foul. But Copper immediately got in her face, started talking trash, and had to be held back. The situation didn't escalate dangerously, but it did show the kind of heat Clark receives nightly. Any coach would say, if you're going to foul, make sure they don't score, and that's all Clark did. But would Copper have reacted so strongly if it was someone else fouling her? Probably not. Clark didn't engage. She kept her cool and calmly, said it was just a foul before walking away. Once again, Clark's game did the talking. Despite constant provocation, she stayed composed and helped lead her team to another home win. When it came time to close things out, Clark and her teammates shut the door on the Mercury's comeback attempts, even as the game stayed close in the fourth quarter. It's also surprising that some of the loudest trash talkers against Clark are seasoned veterans who should know better. One of the most glaring examples came from Alicia Clark of the Las Vegas Aces, a 3-time WNBA champ and 6th Woman of the Year. Alicia Clark is a proven winner with international titles and tons of experience. But at 37 years old, she should not be taking cheap shots at rookies. Yet during a matchup against Indiana, she was so worried about Caitlin scoring on her that she slapped her on the head. The video makes Alicia look bad. It was a desperate move by a player who couldn't stop the rookie with her skill. Caitlin Clark has already proven that she won't be bullied and won't back down. She's making a name for herself not just with her scoring, but with her poise. The WNBA might have expected her to break, but instead, she's becoming one of the league's most exciting and resilient stars.
The Fever getting their first win last night in Los Angeles. That's got to be pretty tough, I would think, on Caitlin to just...
She should be ashamed for her actions on the basketball court. Not only did Alicia Clark commit a type of foul that should never have happened, but she also stormed off in a fit of rage after being called for it, acting as if she had made a clean block. That is complete nonsense, and it feels incredibly dishonest for her to react with so much shock and anger over a clear and correct call by the referee. It is hard to believe she would have acted the same way if the player she hit had been anyone other than Caitlin Clark. As seen in the video, Caitlin took the hit with grace, checked her eye to make sure everything was okay, and immediately moved on without creating any drama. She gathered her teammates, stayed composed, and got ready to resume the game like a true professional. If anything, the foul actually snapped her into focus. Before that moment, she had been having a relatively quiet game, but after the hit, she picked up the pace and started scoring with much more efficiency. Alicia Clark wasn't some street tough hiding behind a rough exterior. She just lost control and made a careless and dangerous play. From that point on, she looked completely off her game for the rest of the matchup against the Aces, and Caitlin Clark made sure to take full advantage.
They're going to pull the upset here. Watch this screen, and then a nice pocket pass.
Caitlin Clark's skill set of long shots and silky passes was on full display as she finished with 13 points and 11 assists, recording another double-double. While we can't say she truly avenged the earlier foul just yet, the Seattle Storm, another team that tried to test her, paid a steep price for it. During a game against the Indiana Fever, Clark's teammates tried to slow things down after she found her rhythm, but one opponent took things too far. Storm shooting guard Victoria Vivians, who played for the Fever just last season, reacted poorly to Clark's offensive explosion and started taunting her as the two ran back on defense following yet another deep three-pointer from Clark. The home crowd at Gainbridge Fieldhouse reacted loudly to Vivian's attempt to get under the skin of their star, but the noise eventually died down. One person who stayed calm was Clark, who walked away from the situation and went straight to her coach, showing maturity beyond her years. Since the incident happened in the second quarter and Seattle was leading by 6 points, there was plenty of time for Clark to rally the team and turn the game around. That's exactly what she did. The final result was a lopsided win for Indiana, and Clark made sure to leave no doubt about who controlled the floor. She made smart defensive plays that led to Steele's aggressive drives to the rim and multiple three-pointers from well beyond the arc. She finished with 23 points and 9 assists, while Vivians put up 0 points in 9 minutes. Most importantly, the Fever won by almost 20 points despite being ranked below Seattle in the standings going into the game. While the first half was competitive, the outcome was never in question once Clark flipped the switch and took over. That should serve as a warning to Storm players not to mess with her, but we'll have to wait and see if the lesson sticks. Since the teams play in different conferences, they won't meet again in the regular season, so a rematch might have to wait until next year. Diana Taurasi is one of the most decorated players in women's basketball history, a legendary playmaker with 3 WNBA championships and an MVP award. She's earned the right to speak on anything in the game and is often viewed as the gold standard for guard play in her generation. However, she seems to have forgotten that her career is winding down, and the new wave of talent headlined by Caitlin Clark is ready to carry the torch. Her reaction to the arrival of this hyped rookie class was expected, but the attitude she has shown doesn't quite match her current level of play. Here's how she welcomed Clark to the league during her preseason media appearances, a reaction that said more about where Taurasi is now than where Clark is headed.
Reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're gonna see it on this side, where you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're gonna come with some grown women that've been playing professional basketball
For a long time, although Diana Taurasi's remarks did not seem particularly hurtful, she clearly believed she was still far superior to the rookie. That may have been true 10 years ago when she was in her prime, but at 42 she is no longer in a position to intimidate young players with a so-called dose of reality. The difference between perception and reality became clear for everyone once Diana Taurasi faced Caitlin Clark on the court in a head-to-head matchup. A few months later, she got the chance to play Clark officially in the WNBA, but things did not exactly go as planned. Clark lit up the scoreboard and outplayed her legendary opponent as the Indiana Fever earned a convincing win. Caitlin Clark finished with 15 points and narrowly missed a triple-double, while Taurasi posted 19 points along with 12 assists and 9 rebounds. Despite the strong stat line, Taurasi could not carry her team to victory and had to walk back some of her earlier confidence. That game made it clear that the new generation is ready to take over, and Clark is leading the charge. Some players have willingly stepped into the role of villain in this growing rivalry, and one of the most notable is Chennedy Carter. Known as a tough, relentless competitor, Carter often takes it upon herself to be the enforcer for her team. While her physicality can be effective, she sometimes crosses the line and becomes more of a distraction than an asset. In her attempts to intimidate Clark, she ended up committing one of the most blatant, unsportsmanlike fouls of the season. During a dead ball, Carter shoved Clark in an incident that made headlines for all the wrong reasons. Despite the provocation, Clark refused to lose her composure. Her court vision and passing were on full display as she racked up assists and kept her teammates involved. Anytime the defense collapsed on her, she found the open player. Rather than engage in a personal duel with Carter, she played smart, efficient basketball and let her performance speak for itself. Carter may be talented, but her aggressive antics continue to overshadow her actual game and make it difficult to appreciate what she brings to the court. The clip of her foul on Clark remains one of the clearest examples of how not to treat a fellow professional.